Sorry about that, there is a part 4. But going back to Sky, like I said, even when there's changes in the air that can be drastic, such as strong winds, a tornado, a hurricane, whatever, even though weather can be dangerous, especially in the air, there's also at times a sense of beauty even in dangerous situations in regards to nasty weather. And when you look at Sky, she always tries to look for the positives. Like I said, she has an upbeat personality and she's very peppy and just tries to do things as best she can, but still also tries to adapt to changes that happen during emergencies. With Sky, she fits the whole concept of weather and the air perfectly. Even in bad situations, she still tries to see positives. She still keeps up her peppy personality. She still finds a positive even in the negative. She tries to be a beacon of light and hope and just all-round beauty and positivity for the team. Just like with weather, and more specifically, like I mentioned, the air. Even in disastrous situations like hurricanes and tornadoes, there's a sense of beauty in regards to just how powerful the weather can be, especially when it comes to the wind, even in bad situations. So when you think about that, as well as her love of flying and backward flips and everything, Sky is almost a perfect representation of beauty in nature in regards to the weather, especially in the wind. And when you look at all these situations, or rather representations, of how the pups' personalities fit their jobs, not just having the skills, but the personalities, Ryder couldn't have picked a better group. Every single one of the pups fits exactly what the job is. So when Ryder was picking pups, what if he wasn't just looking for skills? What if he was also looking for personalities? Trying to find pups where if he, say, for example, needed a water rescue pup, a construction pup, a sky rescue pup, a recycling pup, wouldn't you think he'd want to find qualities in pups that fit what the job requires, not just the skill? I mean, this makes perfect sense. Because if you have pups with personalities that fit the jobs, then they're going to be passionate and caring and cautious and hardworking because it's not just, a job that they like, but because they understand what makes the job so important, and their personalities also reflect what the job is. Marshall is passionate like fire, but is still cautious and wants to help out others. Zuma is easygoing, but still understands that when changes happen, he has to change what he does and tries to go with the flow based on how things change, as well as trying to be easygoing about it. Rubble has to be tough, just like the rocks he pushes with his bulldozers, because he's had to go through that lifestyle as a young pup. And even though, yes, rocks can break, even Rubble himself has to learn to find strength even when he's upset about something. Chase is mature and is able to think ahead, but is able to figure out how to make sure that a group works together and is able to make, pups like the Paw Patrol or even people in general understand the seriousness of a situation based on how he addresses it. So him being a leader and a police pup is a perfect match. Heck, even staying with his spy concept, having to take a situation seriously and being mature and knowing what to do. And same with Marshall with his EMT job, having to be tough but also knowing that him being an EMT pup is going to help save lives. Again, even their backup jobs reflect their personalities. With Rocky, he's someone who doesn't just throw things away. He takes an object and tries to use it to another use. He adapts the object to a situation, just like Mother Nature has to adapt to changes in the environment. And with Sky, she has a bubbly personality that's contagious. But at the same time, she has to also learn to make changes when it comes to situations, but still understands that there's also a sense of beauty that you have to be careful with. You have to be careful in serious situations, even when there's beauty in a storm. However, even with beauty in a storm, she still takes precautions. She still doesn't just make a decision and think things are going to work out. No, she still takes things seriously. And especially when it comes to, say, just the wind in general, she embraces being able to fly and being able to enjoy the weather even during an emergency. And with her bubbly personality, the fact that she enjoys flying, and the fact also that she even just has this positive outlook in general about how things can be and tries to maintain that positivity even in a negative situation, she fits the definition of the air and or weather perfectly. But what about the other pups that have been on the team? Could the same mindset also apply to them? Let's take a look. Now let's take a look at the other pups, starting with Everest and Tracker. With Everest, although there are moments where her personality may seem as if she's being full of herself, I think I might have been misinterpreting this. What do I mean? Well, let's think about Everest for a moment. She's lived her whole life for goodness knows how many years in the Antarctic, a place filled with snow. And she understands that the snow, in regards to weather, can turn on a dime. She understands that even though there's beauty in snow, you also have to be careful, just in a way that's similar to Sky with the wind and the weather. So, why on earth would she be so enthusiastic? Because, in a way similar to Sky, she has to embrace the snow. With Everest, she was literally living in a winter wonderland. But she knows that when bad weather comes, you can't have fun. You have to be careful and take shelter. So what does she do? She embraces all the time she gets being able to play in the snow or have fun in the snow with others around her. Just like with Jake when she met him, as well as being able to rescue him. Heck, she even made her own igloo, which again was her own form of shelter in regards to making sure that she stayed safe. But I think her enthusiasm is a reflection of the fact that she just chooses to embrace having fun in the snow. She tries to make the best out of the time and opportunities that she has because she knows the fun could stop within a dime. So she's enthusiastic about it. She's enthusiastic about being able... Sorry about that, I got too close. But still, she embraces having fun because she understands that having fun in the snow can't last forever. And she wants to enjoy that as much as possible because being that she was alone and only had penguins as company, well, like she said, it can get lonely. And so when you're lonely, you try and have fun even on your own. You try to make the most of the situation despite how negative it may turn out to be. And so what does she do? She stays enthusiastic and tries to make the most out of the time she has playing in the snow or helping out the team or just anything. For her, she's learned that you have to be able to take every opportunity as a positive, because if you don't, then you're just going to be sad and you're just going to not have fun and not have a good time. She embraces every positive moment she can because she knows that if she doesn't, it may never happen again, as well as just being able to be positive, especially when things aren't always the best. So I think that's why she's so enthusiastic. Plus what we saw in the new Pup episode, where the pups got to see her skills and everything firsthand. Now, let's go to Tracker. What about him? Well, apart from his big ears, Tracker also has another quality that also makes him a bit different. Not just the good hearing that he has, but keep in mind, he helped the team get to where Carlos was when he fell in the hole, using his phone. Heck, he even distracted a snake away from Carlos to make sure that he was safe. With Tracker, he not only was good at being able to follow directions and give directions, but he also has this sense of willingness to please others and help out others. When he recognized just how helpful he was with helping Carlos, he was given the job because he doesn't just like following orders and enjoys also being able to help out others in regards to helping them find their way if they're lost or helping them find an object or whatever. But for him, he knows that if he helps out others in regards to directions, as well as just being a help in general by following directions, he's able to help out others in return, regardless of how big or small the prize may be. For Tracker, he enjoys helping out others because he knows that in the end, he's done a good deed. And he enjoys doing good deeds. He enjoys helping out others, but the only way that he will be able to do it is by being able to follow directions and giving good directions and knowing that his actions are going to help out others in the end. He doesn't want to disappoint others, and we saw that in the Winter Wonder Show episode. He doesn't like making others feel sad, and he doesn't like doing things even by accident that cause a problem. He wants to help others, not cause problems. And regardless of how big or small it is, he still feels like his contributions are still worthwhile. As long as he's able to follow directions and help out others in any way that he can, to him, that's all that matters. Helping out others and being able to be positive and doing something that helps out others in general. That's what Tracker does. And like I mentioned with Everest, what she does, embracing the positivity whenever she can, because she's been in a situation where that's had to be her outlook on life when she was in the Antarctic. So it makes sense why Ryder would give Tracker and Everest the jobs that they have. But let's look at the Mighty Pup twins. Does the same concept fit them as well? Now let's look at the Mighty Twins with Ella and Tuck. With Ella, as we saw when she was playing with her brother, playing hide and seek and everything, one of the things she stated is how she doesn't focus on the small things, but rather focuses on the big things. This is interesting because it already gives us an idea of the kind of pup that she is. She's a pup who thinks about the bigger picture. She doesn't focus on the small details. She focuses on the main point of view that you need to focus on. In other words, if you're in a certain situation, she's going to look at the bigger picture. She's going to look at what really matters, that, although it may be obvious, is the most important. She looks at what's the most important aspect of a situation and just follows through with the best that she can. Whereas her brother, Tuck, is the opposite. He focuses on the small details because he knows that the small details can make a big difference. But you're not going to be able to benefit from those big, changes or big opportunities if you don't focus on the small details. Small details can lead to big results. And that's what Tuck focuses on. But you can only get those results if you focus on the big details. Whereas with Ella, she focuses on the bigger picture. She doesn't care about the small details. She focuses on what's happening in front of her and the main objective. Because if she gets the main objective done, then it's a job well done, even if other problems happen. You can focus on the big problem first and then deal with the smaller problems later. So not only are they, in a sense, opposites, but again, the same concept that I was going on. Having their personalities and skills be a part of their job. Even as Mighty Pups, it still makes sense. And like I said with the other pups being the main six, as well as Everest, Even their personalities fit in with their jobs. So, what does this mean?